Hey guys, before you watch this kind of videos get kind of heat up, so make sure you watch the video completely before you blast me in the comments. I understand that we're not gonna agree, but nevertheless, we could start a conversation. I appreciate you guys watching. Let's get started. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Check it out. I've been thinking about quitting YouTube. Really have, because I've been getting so burned out. Or at least not quitting. Take a break, you know, for a while. And if you've been watching the channel for a while, you notice probably I haven't posted as many videos as I typically post. And I really haven't gotten to so many topics lately. It's just, I haven't been feeling it. Literally not. And I was talking to my wife about this. And she was telling me, hey, you know, you've been working in the channel for, I think it's like 7 years coming up or something like that. And, you know, you have an audience and you build, you know, a lot of friends here and all that stuff. You know, we were just talking about the channel in general. And today I was like, well, let me clean my room. And that's what I did. You haven't seen this right here in a long time, right? So I cleaned some of my mess everywhere that you can see out of the camera. I cleaned some of the mess. I set on my desk. I set up the camera. And I think I'm ready. I think I took a break enough to come back and start talking about a lot of stuff. And you guys know I like to talk about things like this. And I'm going to tell you, this is not a pretty one. This is really horrific, right? And I'm sure everybody's aware of this because it's all over the news, right? But in this channel, since I've been doing this, I've been through the Ferguson riots. I've been through the Maryland riots. And if you look through my channels, you could find videos on that I have done years and years ago. And now we're coming into this riot. So first of all, I want to make 2 points. First point, what happened to that guy, his name is George, it was just unacceptable. Just by looking at the camera, it was just unacceptable and really horrific, right? And obviously we don't know if he committed a crime or not, but if he was resisting arrest, I get it. At one point he had to put a handcuff and all that, but as you see the video, you clearly see that the guy is on the floor. You clearly see that there's 4 cops on top of him. You clearly see that he said, I can't breathe no more. And the cop just sat there, you know, with his knee in the back of his neck. And he just sat there. That was totally unnecessary. Totally. At that moment, in that situation, was completely, totally unnecessary. The guy was in handcuffs. The guy had multiple police officers there. He could have picked them all, put him on the side. You know, obviously they called EMS, and he could easily put him in a different position. The fact that he had his knee in the back of his neck, it was just completely unnecessary to me. It was just horrific. And again, you know, multiple police officers. What a guy that is handcuffed is going to do against 3 to 4 police officers. He's not going to do anything. Again, it was unnecessary. Now, with that being said, I'm going to say what I have said multiple times. What we're seeing right now is horrific. Really horrific. I mean, we are seeing an attack against the country. What happened does not justify what's happening right now, by no means. And I'm going to tell you something, you know, as a military police officer, I dealt with a lot of guys that were, you know, not cooperating, or guys that were resisting arrest. So I got a really good amount of information or knowledge, personal experience on how to deal with somebody that is fighting back to police officers. So I'm basing some of my opinions here, some of the commentary that I'm giving regarding to this issue based in my experience, right? But at the same time, you know, serving in the military for so many years, this is why we serve this country, because we want people to be free and we want people to protest if they have to. I mean, the fact that they are protesting is essentially the freedoms that we have. But again, you know, the type of protest that we're seeing is not a peaceful protest. It's not, by no means. What we're seeing is totally chaos. What we're seeing is an attack pretty much around the country. This is borderline or probably a terrorist attack, if you want to put it that way. And I know some of the guys are going to hate me. Some of the guys, you know, I get a lot of dilemma here. I get a lot of negativity and things like that. But I'm going to call it for what it is. When you're burning down people's property, when you are attacking people, you're terrorizing the community. When the communities are outside their houses with guns to protect their community, you are terrorizing people, because obviously not people don't stand outside their houses with guns, right, to protect their houses, unless they are completely in fear that something's going to happen. And I just watched a video where the reporter is like driving around and there's a guy with a rifle and a shotgun. Bless them. I'm going to say it right now because they are taking a stand and they're saying, you know what? No, it is not okay for you to burn down my business. It is just not okay. You've been working here. We own this place, yada, yada, yada. And it's not okay for you to burn down my city. And it's just crazy. You know, I got this quote that somebody that I love gave it to me. And I'm going to just read you like a little part of it. And it says, returning hate for hate multiplies hate. And that's deep. And I'm going to tell you right now, you cannot fix a run with a run. It's completely unacceptable. I saw a bunch of people taking a knee, you know, because taking a knee is like a big deal, right? I'm thinking to myself, you know, and I was talking to somebody that I love about this. I'm like, wow. About taking a knee to pray. That's what we need to do. We need to start taking, you know, getting in our knees to pray to the good Lord for counsel, for love, to stop division, because the division that we have right now is out of control. The news is making so much money out of this. They don't preach love. They preach division. They preach for us to do this thing. They make that like it's a good thing, and it's not a good thing. No one has the right to burn somebody's property. No one does. Doesn't matter what happened. Doesn't matter anything. You have the right to peaceful protest, but to burn something, you know, your community is just unacceptable. Listen to this. Since this started, right? One guy, a black security officer, was shot and killed. So, you know, because we know we're making this a racial thing, right? And I'm going to say right now, I don't believe this was a racial at all. This was not racial at all, in my opinion. This was a police officer responding to a possible crime, and he took it out of policy. He did something that he wasn't supposed to do, but he didn't target him. He didn't walk around and say, oh, look, there's a black guy, let me stop him and let me deal with that, right? He possibly making, or he potentially is the one who committed a crime based on the color of the skin, right? That would have been racist. He didn't do that. What he did was that he went into a call and he stopped a guy meeting the description. So again, for us to say, hey, you know, it was racial, not in this case. So far as I'm recording this video, I don't think it was racial at all. Does that mean that doesn't happen? Does that mean that sometimes there's not a racial component to this? Of course it is. There's always injustice. There's always the thing. I said it many times, you know, I experienced racist people being white, and I experienced racist people being black when I was in the military, right? I'm Hispanic. Sometimes some of you guys be like, oh, you don't know how it feels, right? You don't know how it feels to be a minority. I do know how it feels to be a minority, because when I went in the Marine Corps and I served for 11 years, I couldn't speak English. I bet any of you guys did that. I'm still learning how to speak English. But anyway, you know, black security men shot and killed. Unacceptable. White man was beat down to they almost kill him. And at one point, they're stoning this guy in a different state. This is all multiple states, right? They're throwing cocktails to police officers in New York, you know, the fire ones. I forgot what it's called. Different state, right? So we have Jacksonville riots. We riots in Texas, I believe. Riots in New York City. You know, police stations have been burned down. What is this? What do we got going on? We have an attack against multiple different states, multiple different crazy riots, and it's insane over this. We have a legal system that is in place in order to, you know, stop this from happening, right? So there's a legal system in place, right? And somebody is going to say, you know what? If you do it this way, you're going to bring attention to the situation. Obviously, you're bringing attention to the situation. You have every single news out there reporting on this. You have YouTubers making videos. You have, obviously, you're bringing attention to the situation. But once again, you're bringing the wrong attention to the situation. What you bring into the situation is something that you should not do, and it's a crime. People are committing crimes, and that's not the negativity that you want to bring into the situation. You don't want to fix a wrong with a wrong. It does not work that way. It's insane that we have these people burning down our cities. I'm going to tell you right now, I call upon the police officers to do the job. I call for the government or governors to do their job to stop this chaos. They should stop this, because it is unacceptable that good people are hiding in their houses and they cannot come out because they could get beat down. based on the color of the skin. They could get the business on fire, the property be stolen because they feel like it. No, it does not work that way. There's a legal system in place to deal with this situation, and what's happening is unacceptable, and it's going everywhere. It's really going anywhere. I was just telling somebody that I love, I was like, you know, check this out. Really check this out. You're working in your job. You're working hard, doing what everybody does, right? Working, and then out of nowhere, some white cop kills a black kid or a black man, and because of that happened, your business that you work all your life gets on fire. Right? You may get a beat down in the street because somebody unrelated from you that you don't even know did something wrong. How is that affecting me? How is that now, if I live in those community, I need to lock the door of my house and get a gun to protect myself because of that? That is terrorizing the people. Just the police said, or the fire chief, there were some reporting saying that they ain't gonna even make it. They're not going to make it, people. You understand that, right? If you find yourself in a situation, they are not making it to your house. You are out of luck. I'm going to put it that way. So you are out of luck. You need to have a way to protect yourself. And, you know, me here in the Jarhead 6 channels, we've been talking about this for years. Let me make this point very, very clearly, because a lot of times we get into this. There is injustice in this country. There is injustice everywhere. The devil comes to kill and destroy, and the devil is in the business of separating you, because if the devil separates you from me or from this person or from that person, we will never accomplish anything that God wants us to accomplish, right? We cannot accomplish God's plan if we're spending our day dealing or arguing about our color of skin. You know, it's just unaccomplishable, right? So it's going to continue to happen. My advice to you is that if you want to fix a wrong, fix it with the right. Don't fix it with a wrong. Jesus came here after we, you know, sin and we are sinners and did horrific things, and he died for us. He came here with love, and look what he did. Thousands of years later, people are getting saved in the name of Jesus. People are doing amazing things. People are turning their life around. People are going to jails, getting saved and becoming amazing men of God, amazing women of God. How did Jesus did that? With love, not with hate, not with division, and with none of those things. So if you're doing some of this stuff, you need to stop it. It's not cool. And I'm saying it right now, the police and the governors of those states need to do something to stop this and protect the good people from this horrific attacks. And by the way, I said it many times, it is your job to be responsible for your security. So you need to start thinking about a security plan for you and your family. What do you guys think? Put comments down below. And as always, God is in control.